Hello, good morning, Praveen Soni, and welcome to this small chat that we're going to have. And first of all, let me congratulate for having made it through in the SSB for the Med branch in the Air Force. And yes, your association with me on Unacademy Iconic program. So first of all, we're starting with that congratulatory note.
Thank you very much.
I would like you to, tell the viewers, what is it that drove you to join Air Force?
Sir, when I was in my college, so I saw there was this one poster in front of our college. I was in Sardar Vallabhbhai National Institute of Technology, Surat. And in front of that, there was Kendriya Vidyalaya. In Kendriya Vidyalaya, there was this one poster of Indian Air Force advertisement. And in that, it was it used to show this one sentence, a cut above. And I always used to look at that and I used to think, okay, I used to like relate to that. I used to get really inspired by that. And I used to think, okay, if someday, if everything is pans out correctly, I will also try for this job. But before that, only in the college, I started with working in startups and everything. But after that, when things didn't go as planned, then after that, I talked with my parents and I decided that, okay, I'll try for this Indian Air Force. So.
Excellent. So what all attempts have you made for, getting into the Air Force? They may have, did you attempt any FCAT exam or, it was only through these entries? So can you just tell us about that?
Sir, so I attempted FCAT examinations and I started in 2021 starting. The first FCAT that I gave, I didn't got selected in that. So after that, I prepared for it and I again gave my FCAT. In that SSB, I got conferenced out. I prepared for it. I prepared from various sources like YouTube and all these sources, but I got conferenced out. So it was like a wake-up call for me that the preparation I was doing wasn't enough. So I should prepare more and I should use guidance from more experienced people and who are already really who are like proper mentors of SSB. So after that, I joined an academy and then I joined Iconic course. And after that, on 14th Feb, my second entry was there. In the same cycle, the second entry, the meteorology.
Same cycle, second entry. Okay.
Yes.
Right. So that's good. So how did you get to know about this Unacademy Iconic?
Sir, Unacademy is like a really famous platform right now. So I already knew that Unacademy is really popular and everything is I'll go if I'll have to prepare for any exam and I'll go on Unacademy, I'll get really good guidance from it. But then for SSB, I wasn't very sure because I didn't know how because SSB is more in the physical world.
Yes.
There is so much that
at least that is the perception. That is the perception.
Yes.
Yes.
So I downloaded the app and everything, and I checked that now all the mentors in SSBs were I like looked at them and I was like, okay, so these are like proper mentors because all are ex-servicemen, first of all. So they can perfectly guide me for it. So that's why I opted for an academy then.
Yeah, and I would like to add here, more than being ex-servicemen, we are all ex-assessors, right? Who have actually, assessed candidates earlier in our, tenures at SSB. Right. So yes, I remember your journey in the Iconic Mentorship, which is excellent program for personalized guidance. That is where I have also been emphasizing that a person may have a lot of knowledge about the procedures, etc. But somewhere what kind of the responses that he is giving out, are they falling short of expectations, or is he able to project himself properly, right?
Yes.
You have the qualities, but you're not able to project them, or you have certain reasons and you're not able to bring them out at the right time and right place. So
Exactly.
that is where this personalized guidance definitely helps. Right. So now let us go through your experience of the SSB, right? So when you went for this particular entry, this was a methodology entry, right? For which
Yes, sir.
there is no separate exam, I believe.
No, sir.
So you're given a call directly for your SSB based on your graduation and post graduation.
Post graduation. Yes, sir.
Post graduation. Okay. So what are the subjects that you need to have? If you can just give some more inputs for the viewers, those who are interested in joining methodology.
Sir, obviously all the subjects related to geography or science, applied sciences, all the people who are in like masters, who have done masters or are appearing, who are already in masters program, they can apply for it. And yes, sir, masters, this particular entry is only for masters.
Only for PG entry, yeah.
PG
and
entry.
any percentages specified?
Yes, sir. One should have more than 50% of marks in post graduation.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's good. Right. So having applied for this entry, and I think when you talked about your upcoming SSB, I did mention to you about the areas that perhaps you need to be a little more aware of,
Yes,
which
sir.
are pertaining to meteorology, the weather, and things like that.
Yes, sir.
If you can just go through what your experience of this, first the screening part and thereafter the stage 2.
Okay, sir. Sir, so in meteorology entry, the main thing is there aren't many people who apply for it. Like the FCAT entry for which I went for, in that entry almost like 150, 160 people came. But for this entry, only 193 people came, to be precise.
Okay.
And in those 93 people, 66 people got screened in. Like that was a really good ratio. And even the people in 3FSB were saying that never these many people have screened in. The ratio was really good, more than 50%. So 66 people got screened in. And after that, everything happened in the exact same way. Like on the first day, psych tests happened. And after that, I had 1 day gap. And then after that, I had interview. And due to corona problem, they had squished all the group tasks into 1 day. So in one complete day after my interview, in the next day, whole day we were doing group tasks and everything. And after that, in the final day, there was conference.
So this is I would like to hear clarify to the viewers' experience that yes, there are times where the group task, the group testing, which normally is spread over 2 days, GT1 and GT2, this can be clubbed in and compressed into 1 day itself, right? It can happen for various reasons. Like here you mentioned the COVID. It can happen due to certain weather conditions. It can happen for various other reasons. So the candidates need to be prepared for this eventuality. Yes, the whole testing for as far the GT is concerned, that may be a single day affair. Little I would say hectic, but
Yes,
the GTOs who are conducting this, they take due precaution to ensure that you are fit enough to undertake that test. Yeah. So let's dwell more on the GT part. Right.
yes, sir.
So how was that experience of 1 day GT?
Sir, so in the starting, all those tests happened. The indoor tasks, first we were sitting in one of those rooms, like it was kind of a shed which was covered from all the four sides. And in that we started with indoor tasks, all the indoor tasks, like group discussion, then GP, then after that lecturate and all those things. And after that we moved on to the outdoor tasks in group, just GTO. Now the main problem with me was that the one that you told me, like I wasn't very, I used to think all the things, like the attempt which I gave before this, in that I used to think everything, like okay, we can do this, we can do that, and like that we can go. But I used to stand in the back and I used to support, means I didn't used to give my ideas, or like means everybody is giving ideas, but if I used to like wait, like when other people's ideas will finish, I'll then tell them my idea. So my chance never came. And even though I had ideas, I couldn't tell them. But this time I was like on the front and I was like, okay, I will do my thing, and I will make sure that whenever I'll get time, I will uh, impose, like I'll do my ideas, and we will, so that we can
Actively
move forward.
participate. Actively
Yes.
participate.
Actively
Yes.
participate in that.
Which I sensed from your experience and other things that you were slightly waiting in the wings कि okay ठीक है, let this that melee be over, उसके बाद में जब शांत हो जाएगा तब मैं फिर जाऊंगा आगे. So I think that is something which happens to a lot of candidates, right?
Yes.
So people have good ideas, workable ideas, but they are not able to. They deliberately wait for an opportune moment.
Yes, sir.
And उसमें कई बार क्या होता है कि you don't get that chance to exactly execute your ideas. It happens to a lot of candidates, right? And this is what we are able to sense, particularly when we interact with you at a personal level.
Yes, sir.
This kind of thing perhaps does not may not be possible in the normal classes, but at a personal level, of course, we can interact, and that is where I felt that you needed to be a little more proactive rather than reactive or waiting in the wings.
Yes,
I think yeah.
Sir, apart from that, there was this group discussion and everything that you took, and I realized that the main thing in group discussions is I have to give like the points which will contribute to the discussion. Like I am really good at taking 4 to 5 points and summing them up. So in my previous attempt, what I was doing, I was taking others' point and I was like summing them up and telling them, okay, this thing are there that we are concluding. I was basically concluding all the time. So it was like repetition of all the points. But this time I was really aware that I have to give those kind of points which are like really matter to the discussion and which will contribute to the whole point. And so in group discussion, that was the thing.
Okay. Yeah. Anything interesting that you would like to mention as far as the group activities are concerned, or PGT, etc., etc. Because there's a lot of melee that takes place at that time. How you communicate within the group, right?
Yes,
अंग्रेजी में बोल रहे हैं, हिंदी में बोल रहे हैं, क्या something which is very practical, but somehow it is not much talked about.
Yes, sir. Sir, एक चीज जो सर मैंने ऑब्जर्व की थी कि जैसे हम लोग मतलब हमेशा पढ़ते हैं कि जो ग्रुप ये जो टास्क ये जो है ग्रुप प्लानिंग एक्सरसाइज में हम लोग हमेशा सोचते हैं कि 4 ही प्रॉब्लम्स आती है. मैंने ये चीज ऑब्जर्व की थी कि वहां पर सब लोगों के माइंड में था कि सिर्फ 4 ही प्रॉब्लम आती है. अब हमारे ग्रुप प्लानिंग में एक थोड़ा सा स्लाइड चेंज कर दिया था, उन्होंने 5वीं प्रॉब्लम डाल दी थी. और किसी ने भी वो चीज ऑब्जर्व नहीं की. मतलब ऑब्जर्व कर रहे थे वो, पर किसी ने भी उस चीज को एड्रेस नहीं किया. वो मतलब सिर्फ मैंने ही एड्रेस किया था कि नहीं ऐसा ऐसा है. और वो शायद से पॉजिटिव पॉइंट था जो मतलब मैंने उस टाइम पे देखा कि हर बुक में यही लिखा है कि देयर विल बी 4 प्रॉब्लम्स, पर किसी में भी ये नहीं बताया गया है कि नहीं 5वीं प्रॉब्लम भी आ सकती है. वो वहां पे फंस गए
No,
थे बच्चे।
here, I would like to, just clarify this bit. This is what happens, when you start practicing things, and copying things blindly from the
हम्म,
YouTube or from various this thing. And there are इस तरह की टेम्पलेट्स बहुत सारी सेट होगी कि अच्छा इस चीज में ऐसा होगा, इस चीज में ऐसा होगा, और 4 प्रॉब्लम्स होंगी, 3 प्रॉब्लम मेन होंगी, एक प्रॉब्लम छोटी सी होगी, right?
हाँ,
So I think, we should address, in totality, right? Basically, what is it that we are looking at? What are the issues to be addressed? So usme, if you go by that, then you will be able to find out whether there are 5 problems or there are 6 problems. और ये चीज अगर कैंडिडेट जब बहुत ज्यादा go blindly by the kind of things that you've gone through in some kind of a coaching or these YouTube or social media, so वहां पे आपका एक माइंडसेट बन जाता है कि चलो ऐसे ही होने वाला है, and this is how we going to address.
yes,
Something
sir.
similar also happens in the when people address as per the interviews concerned. So ये क्वेश्चन पूछने वाले ऐसे पूछने वाले,
हम्म,
rather than thinking कि real time में क्या पूछ,
yes, sir.
right? So I think that is a good point that you're making कि yes, people already go with a premeditated mindset.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah. What else?
सर बाकी के जो कमांड टास्क वगैरह
Command
थे,
task, yeah.
सर
What
कमांड
else?
टास्क, सर मुझे तो जैसे बुला रहे थे पहले, तो मेरा नंबर थोड़ा सा बाद में ही आया था, पर जब मेरा नंबर आया अब कमांड टास्क के लिए, तो मैंने 2 लोगों को बुलाया, और जो हमारा ऑब्स्टेकल था वो मुझे देखकर समझ में नहीं आ रहा था एक्चुअली स्टार्टिंग में। मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कि पहला स्टेप मैं कैसे लूं, आगे कैसे बढ़ूं। तो जब दोनों लोग आ गए उसके बाद भी ये चीज थी, मतलब लास्ट अटेम्प्ट में मैं काफी ज्यादा पैनिक हो जाता था। मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि नहीं, मुझे जल्दी जल्दी करना है, मुझे जल्दी जल्दी फिनिश करना है, क्योंकि जो वहां पे जीटीओ सर थे वो भी जल्दी जल्दी, मतलब वो टाइम का वैसा बनाते हैं, थोड़ा सा प्रेशर बनाते
Sometimes it is to put pressure also, yes.
हैं। हाँ, तो इस बार सर मैं कामली, मैंने आराम से देखे सारे स्ट्रक्चर्स वगैरह देखे, थोड़ा सा मुझे टाइम लगा, पर मैंने सारे स्ट्रक्चर्स देखे, और उसके बाद फिर फाइनली मैंने कुछ भी कमांड किया कि अच्छा ऐसा ऐसा करते हैं, हम ऐसा ऐसा करते हैं। और सर एक और डाउट रहता है लोगों को कि मतलब हिंदी में बात नहीं कर सकते हैं, मतलब अंदर जब तक, जबकि ऐसा है कि जब तक सर ना बोले, कि सर अगर ऐसा बोले कि नहीं, यू टॉक to everybody in English only, because sometimes there are people who cannot understand your language.
Absolutely.
जैसे साउथ के हैं और नॉर्थ के हैं, तो जब वो आपस में नहीं समझ सकते तो सर पहले से ही बोल देते हैं कि नहीं, यू शुड टॉक इन इंग्लिश ओनली। तो उसके अलावा सर हिंदी में मेरे ख्याल से बात कर सकते हैं, आपस में भी
Yes,
चाहें तो।
definitely. Particularly when you're doing some activity, अगर आप कोई खेल खेल रहे हो, right? So you're playing football,
Yes,
right? Or you find teams, कोई बंगाल की टीम खेल रही है, कोई वो, so वहां पे obviously they will converse in that language, and वहां पे फिर ये जरूरी नहीं है कि आप इंग्लिश बोल रहे हो, हिंदी बोल रहे हो, so long as it is understood by everybody in the group.
yes, sir.
That is important point. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, apart from that, everybody was really helpful. The thing was, during the group discussion also, and whenever we were doing anything, one of the main thing that I observed was the leadership of the group task doesn't start there at that point. Means you can start it before one day also. मतलब मैंने पहले से ही सबको बोल दिया था। एक्चुअली क्या हुआ था, लास्ट टाइम जब हम लोगों ने ग्रुप टास्क वगैरह किया था, तो थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम हो गई थी, कोई एक अड़ गया था सॉल्यूशन लाने में, जीपी में और जीडी में। तो हम मतलब ऐसे कुछ ऐसे पॉइंट्स थे जो मैंने ऑब्जर्व किए थे लास्ट टाइम, और मैंने उसको पहले ही एक दिन पहले रूम पर एड्रेस कर दिया था कि ये चीजें हैं, हम लोगों को ऐसे ऐसे करना है, और प्लीज कोई अड़ना मत, मतलब उस तरीके का मैंने वो कर दिया था, थोड़ा सा पहले से ही बता दिया था। तो इसलिए ग्रुप वाले काफी ज्यादा अंडरस्टैंडिंग थे, और वो चीज बहुत ज्यादा हेल्प की सर हम लोगों का। मतलब इतना सिविलाइज्ड ग्रुप डिस्कशन हुआ था, क्या हम लोगों को भी लग रहा था कि वाह क्या डिस्कशन हुआ है ऐसा।
So that is, that is another thing, because here what happens is, the group formation, जिसे हम बोलते हैं, that starts from the time you are allotted the chess numbers in stage 2 and you are allotted a room, right?
Yes, sir.
All the group members stay in the same room. So group formation exercise जो है, वो group building जो है, वो तभी से शुरू हो जाती है.
Yes, sir.
And it is something like I always keep telling people, you take this thing as if you're going to play a match with a team,
Yes,
right?
sir.
From a particular team. So you have to have that talmail within the team members. So
Yes.
वो आप जरूरी नहीं है जब मैच शुरू होएगा उसके बाद में आप तालमेल बनाओ, तालमेल आपके पहले बनना चाहिए, ताकि
Yes.
एज अ ग्रुप यू कैन एड्रेस थिंग्स, you know कौन क्या कर सकता है, क्या नहीं कर सकता है, you know the strengths, etc. And I think 1 or 2 days are more than enough for this particular understanding to arrive at. And that's a very good, I think, idea that what you utilize there. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And okay, tell us something about the interview, the conference, and anything if you feel, as far the psych test was concerned, anything you'd like to share.
Sir, I'll start with the psych test.
Yes.
Sir, the first thing is the most basic thing which I think that most people ignore is they don't know the difference between perception and apperception when we are dealing with all this picture perception and apperception test. Like perceptions, the basic definition of perception is like if we see a dog and we say, okay, this is a dog. So this is the perception. But if I see a dog and I say, okay, this dogs looks like my friend Ramesh's dogs. It looks like my friend Ramesh's dog. So this is a perception.
Yes.
And in that test, one should always have this mindset that whenever we are writing story, we have to use one of our past memories.
How do you associate with that particular object or a character or whatever situation?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, because what happened is I observed with many of the candidates that before interview they were really worried that मैंने तो ये लिख दिया है, पर मुझे इससे कुछ मतलब उनने कहीं पे स्टोरी पढ़ी होगी या फिर कहीं पे देखी होगी, पर उन लोगों का उससे कुछ लेना देना नहीं था. बोले मुझे इस बारे में तो कोई नॉलेज ही नहीं है. तो अगर इंटरव्यूअर ने मुझे इस बारे में पूछ लिया और मुझे नहीं बना तो इस चीज को लेकर वो रात भर ऐसा रूम के बाहर ऐसे बैठे रहे थे, ऐसे दुखी थे काफी. तो मैंने वो चीज देखी, मुझे बहुत लगी कि नहीं, हाँ ये चीज तो नहीं करनी चाहिए कि मतलब कहीं से पढ़ के कितनी भी अच्छी स्टोरी हो वो पकड़ ही लेंगे इंटरव्यू में, वो पूरा टेस्ट कर लेते हैं वो जो भी चीज रहती है. फिर सर बाकी सब टेस्ट तो एसडीटी पहले से प्रिपेयर करना होता है, फिर एसआरटी वगैरह.
SRT, how much, of course, it really doesn't matter so much as how many numbers have you attempted, but still, somehow अब ये आजकल, quantification बहुत हो चुका है, right?
Yes, sir.
So how many VAT and SRTs you could attempt?
Sir, in VAT, I attempted almost 57 or 58. One or two I missed.
Yes.
But in SRT, I only did 37.
Yes.
37 SRTs only. But I made sure that all of them were to the point and like really brief, and all the actions were completed. So
yes, that is important, right? So,
just like we practiced, like.
Yes, this is where I'm saying, that there is a misconception कि जितना ज्यादा नंबर्स आप करोगे उतना ज्यादा नंबर आपको मिलेंगे, राइट? कि आपने 50 कर लिया या 60 पूरा वैट लिख लिया, 55 SRT लिख लिया, तो you stand a better chance. No, there's nothing like this, and this is something what people need to understand, right? So it is about the quality and not merely the quantity.
Yes, sir.
So good, yeah. Something about the interview.
Sir, so my interview was actually slightly different from other people. So there was these three interviewers which were really popular in our AFSB because they were like really strict and everything, and everybody were like really afraid of all of these three people. But when I went for the interview, I saw there was some another person. The sir was nobody had ever talked about him, and I was a little bit confused. So I went inside, and the first thing that I saw was that I didn't had any glasses for drinking water. I just had tissues and everything to wipe my face shield and everything. And he made sure that I always wear my mask as well as my face shield, no matter what happens. So I went inside the room and I sat down, and the regular interview went. Now, one of the misconceptions that I think many people have is that they can predict questions of interviewer. I used to think that, okay, I have prepared this, ये तो question पूछते ही हैं, all these things. मैंने parents का पूरा कर लिया था कि parents का like, dislike, what they like in you, what they dislike about you. They didn't ask a single question about my parents. They asked me question about my sister. What your sister think about you? I didn't even prepare for that, and I was like, okay, this is something that I'm learning, that okay, कि क्वेश्चन प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते हम, बस उस हर चीज को दिमाग में एक बार चला सकते हैं, वो जैसे पूछना है वो ऑन द स्पॉट ही पूछेंगे और उसी टाइम पे आंसर देना पड़ेगा. तो सर दैट वाज देयर, एंड देन आफ्टर दैट मैंने जो भी एसजीटी वगैरह में जो भी अपने वीकनेसेस वगैरह जो भी लिखी थी, तो मुझे लग रहा था, मुझे मतलब ऐसा थोड़ा सा लगा कि वो उस चीज को क्रॉस चेक कर रहे थे कि जैसे मेरा जीएस थोड़ा सा वीक है, मैंने ऐसा लिखा था कि मेरा जीएस वीक है, आई एम वर्किंग ऑन माय जीएस एंड एवरीथिंग. सो ही आस्क्ड मी अ लॉट ऑफ जीएस क्वेश्चंस, like geography question and everything. So I answered some of them, but most of them I couldn't answer. But then the foreign affairs questions, the foreign relations and everything, I can answer those questions properly. So I think that was there. It was like overall a perfect interview, but the thing was I couldn't see his face. Now
because of the mask.
Yeah, because of the mask as well as the face shield.
Okay.
After some time, what happened, my face shield started to get fog because of all the, I was nervous at that time, as well as I was sweating and everything, and the face shield started to get fog and I couldn't see his face. And I was like doing like, I was looking at him like this and everything. I was trying all the angles so that I can see him eye to eye. So that was there. And when I talked to other people, they told me that all of their interviewers, whenever they the face shield used to get fogged, they used to tell them that, okay, you can wipe your face shield and everything. But my interviewer wasn't like that. He was like, okay, you are good like this only. Talk to me like this only. So after sometimes, as we came to the closing of the interview, I was a little bit of dizzy and I was like, what is going on? Like, because I was focusing too much and my mind started to get a little bit dizzy at the time, but I was like, okay. I was really confused after my interview that I didn't know how my interview went, but I think.
Yeah, but that is, see, the one thing what we are also trying to see there is how do you cope with such situations, right? What is your coping mechanism? Do you get frustrated and you panic and you give up? So these are also things that we are looking at. Your body language. Body language at that time when you are irritated, irritation or aapko, there is sweat and there is that the face shield getting blurred and things like that. So in such situations, if you are able to hold on and continue with what you're doing, that speaks you are able to address, you are able to focus on the right things, right? So I mean, that is another aspect of it. I'm sure some interviewing officer might tell you, okay, wipe off the face shield or you take off the face shield, or these are different. Sometimes someone might be able to do this, or it might have been done on purpose to see your reaction. How do you cope with the situation?
Yes, sir.
Right. But like you said, you're doing something like this. So he would have sensed this, aap uncomfortable ho. So as a uncomfortable situation, are you able to persist or are you able to, are you going to give up? Or, pareshan ho ja rahe ho, sir, can I do this? Can I take it off and I do this or something like that, right?
Yes.
So this is something, which is again, part of when we say, how does the body language of the person speak for him, right?
Yes, sir.
That is another. As far as the interview is concerned, a lot is inferred by the body language of the candidate as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So as regards, any domain knowledge, questions on your domain knowledge, your subjects, etc. Were there anything asked like that specifically, or these were general questions?
Sir, actually, they asked those questions from everyone. And
Okay.
one day before that, I was preparing everything about it. That I was asking people that आपको तुमको क्या पूछा, तुमको क्या पूछा, and मैंने सारे questions prepare कर लिए थे.
Okay.
पर मुझसे उस बारे में कोई भी ऐसा specific सवाल नहीं पूछा. They only asked me one question that what are the subjects that are used in meteorology branch? In meteorology, what are the subjects? What particular chapter of physics which is used in meteorology?
All right.
So I was able to answer that. So it was.
I think that we discussed during the earlier this thing. Yeah.
Yes.
So and the conference.
Sir, so my conference was on the final day as so most of the people went and they like within like 1 or 2 minutes they were going out, and on that day I wasn't like really sure that I'm going to get like recommended or not. पर थोड़ा सा सर मुझे ऐसा था कि ठीक है, अच्छा लगा मुझे आकर, मैंने सीखा, बहुत कुछ सीखा यहाँ पे, अच्छे अच्छे दोस्त बने एंड एवरीथिंग. आई वाज रियली हैप्पी. तो सबसे पहले तो कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाने से पहले हम लोग एक क्लासरूम में बैठे थे. तो जो सर वेटिंग हॉल में, तो वहां पर वेटिंग हॉल में नहीं सर, मतलब एक क्लासरूम में बिठाया था, फिर उधर से फिर वेटिंग हॉल में भेज रहे थे, फिर वेटिंग हॉल से फिर वैसा भेज रहे थे.
क्लासरूम इज दैट बेसिकली टेस्टिंग हॉल, राइट?
हाँ, टेस्टिंग
हॉल. या
सो वो टेस्टिंग हॉल में सर आए जो हमको हमेशा इंस्ट्रक्शन वगैरह दे रहे थे. तो वो पूछते अच्छा किसी को गाना गाना आता है क्या? तो मैंने बोला हाँ मुझे गाना आता है. तो सर बोला अच्छा चलो गाओ. तो सर फिर वहां पे मैंने गाना गाया. मतलब आई वाज लाइक रियली रिलैक्स्ड. आई वाज.
So that is to lighten the mood also, because everyone is very, very anxious.
Yes, sir.
It is natural that whenever you face an interview or something like that, there will be anxiety, you will be nervous. To just soothe your nerves, these kind of things are done, maybe a crack a joke or something like that. So
Yes, sir.
the kind of, if you can just dwell on the kind of briefing that was given to you before the before the conference, what are you supposed to do? What can you expect?
Okay.
Was that brief to you?
Sir, so before the conference, पहले तो सबको यही बताया गया था. हम लोग आपस में ही जो चीज डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि वहां पर बहुत सारे जितने भी सारे ऑफिसर्स वगैरह रहेंगे, फाइनल असेसमेंट होता है, और जिसका भी श्योर नहीं होता है उसको वो लोग श्योर कर लेते हैं, और जो भी चीज है वो सब परफेक्ट कर लेते हैं बात करके. तो हम लोग वेटिंग हॉल में बैठे थे. अब सबका हो रहा था, सब लोग जा रहे थे. फिर मतलब जब मेरा चांस आया तो थोड़ी देर मेरे ख्याल से डिस्कशन हुआ. मेरे पहले वाले कैंडिडेट को उन्होंने जल्दी भेज दिया. फिर उसके बाद थोड़ी देर तक उन लोगों ने डिस्कस कुछ किया. फिर उसके बाद में मुझे बुलाया था. तो सर लास्ट टाइम व्हाट हैपेंड इन माय कॉन्फ्रेंस दैट आई डिडंट गॉट अ चांस टू लुक एट like to address everybody. Like even when I was entering, मैं ऐसे जाके गुड मॉर्निंग सर बोल के सिर्फ जो मुझे एड्रेस कर रहे थे मैं उनसे ही बात कर पाया था. इस टाइम मैंने सोचा कि नहीं, ऐसे तो नहीं, मैं जाऊंगा अच्छे से सबको पहले गुड मॉर्निंग बोलूंगा, आराम से बैठूंगा, फिर जो भी क्वेश्चन वो पूछेंगे उसका आंसर मैं करूंगा. तो सर पहले से हर एक ये एक चीज थी सर, मैं हर एक टेस्ट के पहले ये चीज को, हर चीज को मतलब दिमाग में एक सिनेरियो बना लेता था और उसको इमेजिन करता था कि मुझे कैसा वहां पे परफॉर्म करना है. कॉन्फ्रेंस के टाइम पे भी यही हुआ. मैंने बोला कि मैं आराम से बैठूंगा और जो भी वो सवाल पूछेंगे उसका आंसर मुझे करना है. मैं गया आराम से, पहले सबको एड्रेस किया, फिर मैं बैठा. फिर सर ने मुझसे एक आध क्वेश्चन किया कि व्हाई व्हाट मोटिवेटेड यू टू ज्वाइन इंडियन एयरफोर्स. फिर मैंने उस चीज का आंसर दिया और फिर उसके बाद उन लोगों ने मुझे भेज दिया. और फिर मतलब बेसिक सवाल किए, अच्छा हॉस्टल कैसा था और
Good, sure.
खाना कैसा था वगैरह करके फिर भेज दिया मुझे.
No, what I'm trying to learn from your experiences. You were at ease this time. You are
Yes.
more comfortable. What is going to happen, and there is no point panicking or feeling nervous about it. I always maintain you can crack SSB if you are at ease with yourself.
Yes sir.
Right? So if you are at ease, कि अच्छा ठीक है, आपको फैमिली के बारे में क्या पूछेंगे, आपके फादर के बारे में, मदर के बारे में, भाई बहन के बारे में, क्या करते हो क्या नहीं करते हो, all these things. I think that's what we go through when you're doing this preparation for SSB, and particularly so as far as the iconic program is concerned. So once you know these things कि ठीक है, इसी के अलावा तो और क्या चीजें हो सकती है, there will be a lot of things which you need to think about and then answer. But by and large, yes, it is about the family,
Yes,
about the relationships,
definitely.
right? As far as your school is concerned, college is concerned, it is about your performance. आपने अच्छा कैसे perform किया, अगर अच्छा नहीं perform किया, कुछ गलती हुआ तो वो क्यों हुआ. So I mean, so long as you do this, and I think all this we do address, at least I do address in that our DDY course. I'm sure you would have also gone through that.
Yes sir.
Discover, develop yourself.
Yes.
So these are the kind of things, once you are aware, this is what is the scope of the things.
Yes.
Basically, right? Baki, yes, there will be questions, you will be able to answer. There are questions you will not be able to answer.
Yes,
Current
sir.
affairs is a very vast field. You can perhaps answer majority of the question. There may still be some question you may not be able to answer, despite being very well prepared for this. But yeah, by and large, the interviewing officer is able to see in which mold you are. और वो उसी के दायरे में generally आपसे पूछता है, and then he takes you out of that daira for some time, just to see how are you in a slightly uncomfortable, unknown, unfamiliar situation. How do you respond, right?
Yes, sir.
So these are basic things that are being checked. So yeah, any other thing you would like to mention or share with the viewers?
Sir, the first thing is during conference, when they asked me this question that what motivated you to join Indian Air Force, at that time I gave them 3 reasons. After that they asked me 2 more reasons. Actually they were trying to check my mental stamina. That's what I figured out afterwards, after everything was over. And they like cross questioned whatever I was saying. Whenever I used to say, sir, it's a stable job, तो बाकी job stable नहीं होते हैं क्या? So like questions like that. तो sir उसका फिर answer जब मैं कर दे रहा था, तो I think that was good कि उस time पे मैं पैनिक अगर कर जाता था तो सर वो क्वेश्चंस के आंसर नहीं बनते थे. जैसा आपने बोला कि वही कुछ चीजें हैं, पर बात है कि हम दिमाग में ही उसको बहुत बड़ा हुआ बना लेते हैं कि नहीं.
Exactly.
पर वो हो सकता है.
Right. Chalo, that is excellent, Praveen. I think you've shared your experience, and I'm sure some of this would be beneficial to many of the aspirants. And like you said, some of the myths कि अच्छा ठीक है, 4 ही situation, 4 ही problem होती है, ये ऐसा होता है, वैसा होता है. Right? These are the things when the people need to keep in mind, and be more relaxed, be more at ease. You can perform your best when you are at ease, right? Of course, you need to be alert. You cannot be complacent. But yes, being at ease also shows a lot of confidence, self-confidence. You can only be at ease once you are confident, right? When you are nervous, you cannot be at ease, right? And I think, by and large, whatever I have interacted with you, your knowledge level and your reasoning and other things, they were pretty much sorted, so there was no issue, except that things that we discussed. Your active participation, being proactive at some times, or rather than being a laggard, and waiting. ठीक है, जब सब हो जाएगा उसके बाद मैं बोलूंगा. So these are the things which finer things which perhaps help you. Otherwise, there are plenty of candidates like you who are capable, right? Who are recommendable.
Yes.
लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं वो छोटी छोटी चीजें रह जाती हैं जिसका शायद आपको एहसास न हो, and maybe somebody who has been in this game of assessing people can point a finger there and advise you on this, right? So
Definitely.
before we wind up, tell me what are the things that really helped you in this iconic journey.
Sir, the most important thing that the most helpful thing that I got from Iconic courses was talking to you actually, because whenever we talked like one-on-one, whenever you debriefed us about our psychology, or then interview, then your assessment about our interview. So in those sessions, like your experiences, I was like really um, impressed, I would say, because you pointed out that thing which I don't think like anybody who has seen me in real life also would point out. So I was really thinking that, okay, after you said it, I reflected and I think about all those scenarios. Okay, is this actually true? And I realized, okay, yes, it is true. And I didn't realize it, but you have so much experience and it helped me a lot. And it was only possible when I interacted with you one-on-one. It wasn't possible in even
In a
in like,
group, yes.
yeah, in plus course also. It was in the Iconic course only that I got that personalized review about myself. So that was the
Chalo,
biggest takeaway.
that is chalo, very happy for that. And medical, anything you'd like to mention? Just a brief about just for the information of others. Where was the medical held and what was the process like? If you can just briefly tell that.
Sir, so basically all the tests in medicals are like really short, I would say, because they can be done in like 1 day or 2 day at max, but uh, it takes like
It
4 to 5
takes,
days to complete them.
yes.
So, but the thing is, one should always be prepared for that. And it is not something about SSB. One should always be healthy. One should always eat healthy. One should always exercise and everything. And it isn't about SSB for our own sake. We have to do that. So, and I was eating correctly. I was exercising from a long time ago. Like this was my lifestyle, and I even mentioned it in my interview also that I am following a like proper routine since I was a child. So I think that was something that resonated with them also, and which helped me in the medicals also. So I was able to crack like not crack but pass the medical
This
test.
was held at what? Delhi, CME Delhi?
No sir, IAM Bangalore.
IAM Bangalore. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
As well as in Command Hospital also. Like few tests were in Command Hospital and few were in IAM.
Chalo, so Praveen, thank you very much. And once again, congratulations for having made this. And I'm
Thank you
sure,
very much.
you'll do well in your training and really enjoy and enjoy your life as an Air Force officer, as a meteorology officer, and contribute your bit. I'm sure you're very capable, and you will do. You will greatly contribute to the service, right? So with
Thank
that,
you very
I
much.
wish you all the best and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.